Right. We're here today. Hello. We're here with Rav Bina and Rabbanit Bina, if you've heard of them. If you haven't, you're probably watching the wrong video and the wrong newsletter. I think we're here to wish everyone a happy Purim of sorts, but somehow to understand a bit more about ourselves and each other. Maybe at the end of this process we'll know more about ourselves. I'm supposed to ask Rav Bina and the Rabbanit questions, and we'll hear if they have the same answers or possibly different answers. It's a known documented fact. We asked lots of family members for points of contention between Rav Bina and the Rabbanit, and they couldn't think of one time that they ever disagreed about anything. So it turns out they agree, but we'll see. Maybe it's not true. We'll see if we can get there. Let's ask Rabbi and Rabbanit Bina. Have you ever disagreed on anything ever in your lives?
Agree or disagree?
Disagreed.
Sure.
Which one's easier to count? The time that you agreed or the time?
No, there are things we disagree all the time. Example this week, if to make Surah Purim in the house or to go to Hanan.
What? Are we allowed to know who said what?
I said to go to Hanan. I'm already 70. I don't have koyach to help in the kitchen anymore. And my wife wants to keep me on the toes.
What would you say, Rav Bina, that you are best at in the kitchen?
Sponger.
Sponger. That's not a cake. That's actually how you clear up after the...
And wash dishes. Americans don't know how to wash dishes.
Americans don't have to wash dishes?
No.
They don't do a good job, or they're used to a dishwasher?
No, the Americans don't know how to clean dishes.
Ooh.
They don't know how to do sponger.
1 second, if you don't mind, if we ask Rabbanit, representing all of Baltimore, possibly the entire United States of America, how do you respond to this charge that Americans don't know how to wash up dishes?
It's probably true. It's probably true. They're, like you said, they're used to the dishwasher, and they don't want you to ask them again, so they do a sloppy job.
So they have an incentive. I mean, they can wash dishes, but right, sometimes they choose not to wash dishes well, so they won't get asked again. There's a good tip there for Shalom Bais, please God, in the future. If you do it wrong the first time, you might not be asked to do it again. You heard it here first with Mishpachat Bina. Is it better to reverse into the parking space, or is it better to forward into the parking space when we drive?
Is that a Purim question?
I think it's a...
No, I thought V'nahapochu.
Oh, I see. Oh, very good.
Right. So I think that's your answer.
Oh, I think this is in the public interest. This is a very important question. Right. Rabina, do we go back into a space or forward into a space? What would Rabina Paskin?
I tell you the secret. I didn't pass my driving license, not first time and not second time, on parking. On the parking, I fell. And the third time, through connection of my brother, he didn't ask me about parking. He didn't ask me about parking.
If one of the Bina family offers to park your car, you might want to ask for Rabbanit. Favourite Jewish song? Rabina, what would you say your favourite Jewish song is?
Jewish song?
Yeah.
In my will be written, I feel if not written, I'll say now. In my funeral, no speeches. Bezrat Hashem in 20 years, no speeches, because my father used to say, as whenever there's a funeral, is one group of guys that are very happy, the rabbis. They have a place to talk. And in my funeral, not going to be any speeches.
What about from women? Maybe women.
No women. No. Once, 2 songs, Lev Tahor and the Zaken.
Rabbanit, what would be your favourite piece of Jewish music?
There's a song that Maishi sings with the family. Ma'aneh Lashon.
From Rosh
Hashanah Yom Kippur.
Ochila Lakel.
Yeah, right. Ochila Lakel. Right. I love it. I love it. And my son and the family just do it very beautifully together.
Oh,
yeah. And then everyone joins. Yeah. I don't know.
I think every time there's maybe some guys thinking like this, but I don't care.
Non-Jewish music. Now, I thought I know the answer to this question. I thought Rabina always used to talk about Simon and Garfunkel, but...
Yeah, I got introduced to this by my wife.
Oh.
And for the record, it's very important to know, as both of them went to Jewish school. One to MTA, and one to Rabbeinu Yankiv Yosef.
So I had an interesting story recently. The Rabbi of our shul said he'll start the tune for Deroi Yikra because there was no one to sing, and he started singing the tune for Scarborough Fair. Deroi Yikra Levenin. So I didn't know what was going on. He's a Hasidic Rebbe. How do you know it? And his son leaned forward and said to me, Simon and Garfunkel. I was like, what's going on? He said they have a Masorah that Simon and Garfunkel heard that nigun at their grandfather, one of them at their grandfather's Shabbos table, and then they put other words to it, but it was really a Jewish, it was really very beautiful nigun.
Maybe yes, maybe not, but it's like many Hasidic stories.
Yes, it works. Okay. Rabbanit, what would you
Well, they say also that a lot of the Chabad, you know, the
marching tunes.
Were marching tunes of the Russian army. Right? So what, you know, the chicken or the hen, you know, the hen, what came
first? So maybe if the Russian army would have had Simon and Garfunkel, communism would have been a very different different affair. Okay. What Rabbanit, what is your favourite non-Jewish music?
You know, I love Simon and Garfunkel.
See, you agree on everything. This is boring.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get movies. Favourite movies. Bina, I think I know the favourite movie that you talk about sometimes.
Love story.
You know, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, but why is it his favorite movie? And, you know, I think we have a little bit of a love story, you know, kind of, we're you know, we got married young, we're even though we do disagree every once in a while, you know, we kind of have a little love story going, but I don't think that's the reason it's his favorite movie. I'll tell you why it's his favorite movie. My husband used to like to go to movies because he was a wild kid. He was a wild kid, and he used to play soccer all day. And his mother didn't want him to only play soccer all day. He didn't learn anything in school. So then they started in Israel. Israel's a little behind the times. They didn't have yet movies with sound. They had the Charlie Chaplin, you know, where you don't talk, you just run and, you know, you do all these funny things. Right, the silent movie. So she at least wanted him to have a little culture, so she would send him to see the Charlie Chaplin. And that's what we used to talk about on the dates. I would mention different movies, and he would say, Charlie Chaplin. You know, that's when he knows the Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin, he really loved Charlie Chaplin. Now, he went cold turkey because he decided he's going to go to Yeshiva, going to go to Punovich. You can't even see Charlie Chaplin in Punovich, even if it's a clean movie.
It's black and white.
Oh, right, but I don't know. They didn't let him. He didn't go to Charlie. From when he was bar mitzvah, like about 13, I don't know, 13 and a half, he went cold turkey, no movies. No movies. Now, he got married at 22, so make the count, you know, 22, and another half a year goes by. 10 years, he did not see one movie. Now, you guys, whoever is watching this, think 10 years you're not going to see one movie. You know, that's like not, you know, but he was very devoted to his learning, to Punovich. That's how he could become a Rosh Yeshiva. You know, he really got into it. No movies. Now, we're a young married couple. I want to go to a movie. I'm not going to ask someone else, another man, obviously, to go to the movie. And I was in New York. I didn't have so many friends. I'm a young married couple. My husband has to take me to the movies, you know, right? Isn't that, you know, that's fair. Okay, and we were in Boston, and it was winter. It was we were at my husband's uncle's winter vacation, right? We didn't take off when we shouldn't. It was winter vacation from the Kollel and my master's program in Revo. And so we were in Boston, and Aaron's uncle and aunt, Mashalom, invited us. Beautiful. And it was snow. Now, good parts of Love Story take place in Boston. We were in Boston, and we had just gone to see Harvard. Some of it's Harvard, Vassar, you know, and the whole. And it is a beautiful love story. We're just young. We're getting married. 10 years, my husband hadn't seen a movie. So, you know, he just like kind of fell in love with the whole idea of going to the movies and getting married and being in Boston in the snow. And the only thing that he was a little bit perplexed, because those of you who saw the movie, my husband told everybody to go see the movie, so you have to go see the movie. Those of you who saw, in the end, unfortunately, she succumbed to an illness, and I forgot her name. I know Eric Siegel wrote the book, but I forgot who. So she, and it was very, very sad. There were sad moments. And I was just crying. And my husband, you know, he didn't know that if there's something not real, you know, happening, you cry like I'm sitting, you know. he's talking. He said, "Are you crying? Is everything okay?" He thought maybe he did something to me, you know. And I tell him, "Shh," because you know, people in America, you don't talk in the movies. You know, anyway, so he was a little worried about that, but he liked that whole, you know, kind of that he could go to the movies again and beautiful movie. Anyway, so that's...
And so it's the association of the movie, not just what it represents.
I think, you know, just, yeah.
So
Then Blues Brothers.
Hey, there we go.
This is a great movie.
Die Hard, Blues Brothers.
Blues Brother.
So if you had, but the love stories...
Also on the plane, I never saw, I do not open the television. Usually take a chumash or a chaim, or sfasemes, I fall asleep after 5 minutes.
His grammar is not so perfect, but when he speaks it just seems fine. It seems, you know, it's like almost music to my ears. I have no problem understanding it. It's like fully correct in my mind. I don't know. Now, when Rabbi Billet High, rookie, when Rabbi Billet imitates him, and he speaks that same kind of English, all of a sudden I say, "But my husband's English is perfect. How could Rabbi Billet say it in such a way?" You know, like, it's very funny. It's very funny because on my husband it comes out perfect, but when someone else imitates it, it doesn't come out so good.
It was always the favourite mincha. My favourite mincha of the year is when Rabbina's been away fundraising, whatever it is, and comes back to yeshiva, and suddenly in the middle of mincha you hear, "Oi!" and then like you realise that we're back on.
Yeah, when I go snow, I don't have to learn Station for 6 months. I got put down. Thank God what you did, Rabbi Mays, in the charity. I love it. The only day I enjoy to be a schnorrer is the charity day. But I go around after Purim. I hate it. Because many people accept me nicely, but not everybody. Last year, after one of the Schnorr visit, I went and I cry half of the night. Like the Pon of Jerov said, when you knock on the door, what you pray as nobody will be there.
That is not going to make it into the Purim video, just letting you know.
Put it in the video.
No, not this one. We'll do it another time.
This one.
This is supposed to be a joyous one.
Aharon.
Do you think we should put this in the video or not?
For sure.
Crying on Purim? Just because it's crying, not because I'm against the story.
Not crying now.
You have to ask Hanan, whatever Hanan says.
No.
We're already, you know.
I'm going to cut down to the funniest part, so it's not...
It's not funny.
You know, what the younger generation...
It's not funny you were crying half the night.
Your favourite disagreements?
Favorite disagreement?
Yeah. You said before there were some things that we don't agree on.
You know, I have my curses, I read people's faces. Many years ago, my wife used to fight with me. I said about somebody is a Rosher. I'm not going to say names. 20 years later, she said, "Aharon, you're right, it doesn't happen too many times now, marriage."
So that was officially a time, the Rabbanit agrees with that
Yes.
Bina was
A few
actually
times.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
More right
one
than
time.
Right. He was totally on the mark, and I was totally off the mark.
Because Rabbanit always told us in the yeshiva, when you get married, even when you're right, you're wrong. But you're saying that on this one occasion,
Yeah.
you are right and right.
I was wrong for 20 years.
Ah, so you took a lot of right to make up for all the
Why
wrong.
you can talk like this about him?
Okay. Rabbanit, what's your favoured disagreement?
You know, I don't remember any of the disagreements.
Moving to the Rova.
We're moving to the road. All right, but in the end we agreed. I moved, you know.
She and the children did the big demonstration against moving to the Rova.
And they didn't want to live in the rubber.
Oh. If I never got a big fight with my wife, this is the biggest fight that I remember.
I just want to know, when you decided to, you came home and you said, "We're moving." I decided. You said, "What do you think about moving?" How did you present it?
The way I know myself, we're moving.
And your response?
No.
And how long did that take to get to?
Few months.
Few months. So no, then my husband said, we're going to do it a 3-year trial period.
Oh, you said.
I negotiated, right. I
Are you
negotiated.
still in the second year of that 3-year period? You're still in the trial period. What is your favourite snack?
My favorite,
Officially that you're allowed to have.
officially I'm allowed to have Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
You're allowed to have Haagen-Dazs?
Yes,
Okay.
Haagen-Dazs is so pure as it's healthy. I feel with people that are border diabetic.
The cream and fat.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream is healthy. Rabbanit said Haagen-Dazs is healthy.
The cream and fat are pure.
But I said in a joke, and I don't mean in a joke, after I die when they put me on the floor and be covered with the tallies, if they will give me ice cream, I'll take out the tongue.
And what about your favourite snack that you're not allowed to have?
There are too many things. Better not to talk. I love food.
What's the Rabbanit's favourite snack?
I like ice cream also, but I like the salty. I like potato chips. I like other things as well.
Rabbanit never has any of that stuff. Because he's not allowed it.
Look the results.
What would Rabbanit say is the one of the best midot that he sees in the Rabbanit?
Very creative and care about people, and she changed the world. All the women start by her. She's not good in PR to do publicity for herself, but she's the first one. And thanks to Israeli girl, she is hard to believe, as Malke used to be a dream to be a math teacher, and she was teaching middle school, and a girl, Israeli girl from Katamonim, told her very dirty word, as I'm not willing to say this, I feel in Purim, and she left the class crying. She called me, I got scared something happened to her, and I said, Malke, we didn't get married and come to teach in Israel to cry. Stop, and then she started to work with Balichuvas. Mishnayos is another 20-minute speech. The world of women study all their life to some girl from Katamonim as cancer in very, very bad world, and make her to leave the class crying.
Oh, big schus when she gets to Shemayim.
Yeah.
Edna Narkisi.
Wow.
She met her many years ago. You told her thank you?
No.
She said thank you. She said, Rabbanit, what do you, if you can see a special midah that you could tell us about Bina that you notice?
I think that he's number one in the whole world in being psychologically attuned to young men. I've never seen anything so amazing and almost miraculous as the way he understands, cares about, and is able to deal with these difficult situations that come up in our educational world today. His heart is like gold. He has a big heart, and his understanding of the world, of human nature, is top. And
you mentioned just now that it was against the Rabbanit's family's will that he went out. How did you end up going out if it was against their will?
I met her through my sister, and then her parents, and I asked her, we have machlokes the third time or the fourth time to get engaged, on above the beach in Tel Aviv by Hilton Hotel, by the Shkia, and it's romantic. I still remember I went with the ugly green suit, old suit what we got from America, then nobody got money for buying those suits.
who told you to do that, to go by the Hilton?
Nobody.
Oh, okay, pretty good. So they didn't really meet my husband. They didn't have anything against my husband, but they didn't like that whole... So when I told them that my mother made me go out with this, I think he's today a math professor or something. It was very, very boring. You know, and everybody knows, you guys know, is one thing my husband is not boring. it's been a nice life together, like a roller coaster, ups and downs, and a lot of wonderful things and laughs and Purim, and that kind of thing. And that was one. And some other guy that, as I said, Ma, your pick is really not so good. If you did want to get me engaged to somebody else, you got to do better than the choices. So I kind of knocked that down a little bit.
They came close
said,
because
what?
they wanted you to marry a maths professor.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
And I'm a
Purim.
Right. So I just, I was determined, I kind of wore them down, and I said he's really nice. And my father was a little bit more on my side than my mother, because my father is from the Mir Yeshiva. He was a very learned, knowledgeable man of intellectual pursuits, a lot of read literature, even though he also didn't really have degrees. So he understood when I told him that my husband, he may not have a degree, but he's very knowledgeable.
It wasn't an alien concept to him.
Right. And I like on the dates, my husband would tell me things about Truman. Now, Truman was the American president, but apparently my husband read some books of history or newspapers or something, and he knew all kinds of things about the American president. That was pretty impressive. So I told that to my father. And I somehow convinced him that he was an intelligent person, and and of course his learning Torah, and that it would be okay in Israel, and it was important to go to Israel, which they thought was, they agreed. So I said, so if it's important, then what's wrong that your daughter goes to Israel? Whatever. I kind of argued with them, and that was the beginning of my learning, my Gemara skills, to kind of counter-argue and everything.
So it really began then.
Right.
Okay.
It already began then, and I won.
Where's the first time they met Bina?
My mother came. See, my father, he knows right away, you have to trust the woman. So he didn't, and then it was expensive. 2 tickets,
Both
they couldn't afford 2 tickets. So they can afford 1 ticket, it's my mother. So he sent my mother. And I must say, and we give my mother a lot of credit, that my mother said, she said, he's a really fine person. He's a really fine, remember she was worried, you know what she was worried about?
And my voice.
His voice.
I went to the Prime Shulevitz.
Remember, she was worried about his voice, that he has a little distinct, which I already had gotten used to, so it didn't make, I don't know, it's like music to my ears, I don't know. But my mother said she's worried about the voice. Is his voice okay? His voice is a little funny, So I said, no, I don't think so. It's okay, whatever. But remember, but she said he was a fine person, and she met his parents, very honorable, fine parents. So, she kind of, we got her on our side.
And how did you feel, when Bina met his mother-in-law? Well, she wasn't your mother-in-law yet, but when you met her for the first time, was it you didn't feel nervous to meet?
When my father-in-law met me a few days before the wedding, he's driving, we live in Malke from Baltimore, parents Alem Shalom, and we rent an apartment next to YU 184th Street. And the father came with a car with a U-Haul in the back. And he was very tired from the driving. He asked me, Aharon, can you drive? I said, I don't have a driving license then. He stopped the car and said, Malke, I don't understand. No English, no high school, no college,
no driver's license,
no driving, and no drinking. That's why you marry him. In the car 10 days before the wedding. Malke, stupid, answer him, I love him.
I don't even remember that I answered him.
You answered. Maybe it's hard for you to admit.
No. I don't remember that I said it. Look, I definitely didn't back out,
I think the most important question we all need to ask is, how did you know about Truman?
I used to read a lot of newspapers. I never read books. Fake stories were interesting. I read Chassamba. Ask Israeli what is Chassamba. Ask all the set of Chassamba. But I used to read a lot of newspaper.
Chassamba is like the Hardy Boys. you know, kind of.
And my parents used to save me the papers. Whenever I came from Ponevezh to wear once in 2 months, they used to send me all the papers. Ma'ariv. Then Ma'ariv used to be the most clean and the most popular. And
they had very good analytical pieces.
It used to be Dr. Azel Karlebach. No, he's from Shloimele Karlebach. Mishpoche. Genius guy, very deep thinker. Used to be Schnitzer, you remember?
Yeah, Shmuel Schnitzer, yeah.
Shmuel Schnitzer used to be very famous writer, very deep. Mamish deep. Mamish Gdoilim. But used to be a guy, Justman, forgot his Hebrew name, he wrote the Perush and Chumash. Used to be very deep, culture, Jabotinsky people. Not like today, everything is what we're calling yellow papers.
Not everything, Aaron. Our son-in-law is the editor-in-chief of a wonderful newspaper.
I don't read English, I cannot talk about it. I can read only chief editor Yaakov Katz.
And in America and England, it's quite personal to ask somebody how they vote. But in Israel, if you don't tell someone how you vote, it's considered a very big, it's obvious how you can ask people. So do the Rabbanit and the Rav Bina agree on who to vote for?
No. I used to vote all the years from Mavdal, Mizrahi, or today is Rabbanit. After I got kicked out in a very ugly way, with nobody called me, nobody, except the rabbi, only one rabbi called me, he feels sorry for me, from Shavei Hebron. I moved to Shas, because I'm a big Chassid of Rav Ovadia. And after Rav Ovadia passed away, I'm voting for Agude. The Chalban told me they are the only people who would fight about Shabbos. And my wife said what she wanted.
Rabbanit, is Rabbanit a big supporter of Aguda?
No. No.
Shas?
No.
It's?
It's not exactly. And I don't know what I'll vote this election, but last election I was very, very worried about Obama. Last election, Obama was still president, and even though he only had like about a year or two left, I was very worried. In a year or two, you could just, kind of knock down a whole country. So I wanted...
Or move the embassy to Jerusalem, depending on who's...
Right. So I wanted to make sure we had someone in power who could talk back, who could speak with the same strength as Obama, talk back and talk the language of Obama and not be scared of Obama. So I voted Bibi. Even though there are definitely faults in Bibi on a personal level, but I felt for the nation. I felt politics was something of the nation. I don't like to mix so much. I'm from America, the politics and religion. I like it a more, Democrats, Republicans, Labor, Likud. I don't know. I'm more in that. I don't like these small parties, the whole system so much. So that's what I did. What I'll do, and I did vote before that. I had voted Mafdal, but then I couldn't afterwards. So that's who I voted for.
What do we think about American politics? What do we make of Trump? Rabina, what does Rabina think about Donald Trump?
What I think, I'll tell you what happened the night of the election in America. I was the night before my colonoscopy test.
Oh, you've prepared for it already.
You have to prepare my cider to drink. Not a joke.
I know, I've drunk it.
My cider may be worse.
Yeah.
And I was 2 o'clock in the morning in my bed. I didn't know how to use my wife's iPhone. And I'm sitting thinking on the 2:30 in the morning, who is going to win? I said, I'm sure Trump going to win.
Yeah, you asked me what I think.
Yeah, she said, I don't know.
I said, for sure Hillary. I said, for sure Hillary. What kind of question?
And everybody knows she's a big anti-Semite. She, not the Rabbi Clinton. And I said, is Trump going to win? Like the election in Israel. The media have to lose. And Baruch Hashem, the media have to lose. I'm not saying Trump is a tzaddik. I'm not saying Trump will put him in charge of Matan. In charge of Matan, or Netivaria teaching. But one thing you have to give him credit. He's not politically correct what I believe.
Well, you believe in not being politically correct?
I don't have to be politically correct.
Maybe you should also be not politically
No,
correct
no,
sometimes if you
no,
believe in
I
it.
don't have to be politically correct. It's too late to teach me in the age of 70. And he loved Jews. Stories about his father, what he helped shul, and he built shul, and he gave property for shul many years ago. You can ask Rabbi Wagner family. His daughter, no? He's teaching in Matan Dafayim.
Yeah.
He's very good to the Jews. Very good to the Jews.
Rabbanit, what does Rabbanit think about Donald Trump?
Since I don't live in America, even though I could vote, I usually don't, unless there was once or twice I did, but I didn't feel strong enough to vote for Trump, even though my leanings were in his direction politically. I didn't vote, but I think his whole campaign of Make America Great Again, not only for the Jews, obviously for the Jews, and moving the, kind of just telling people in the face, this is it, Jerusalem's the capital of Israel. What they've hemmed and hawed and, for 20 years or 60 years, I don't know. I mean, he's finally saying it, it's the capital and we're going to move the embassy. And, but also for America, I think he wants to, cut out the PC. Let's see it as it is. Let's look at Iran. America was giving all this money and saying to the Palestinians and to the, the homeless, the refugees or whatever, and not giving them jobs and whatever, and allowing this money that they're giving to be used to pay killers, to give for the families of the terrorists, of the so they want to clean up the act a little bit for the sake of making America strong again. Also, I hope it'll work. I hope he does things ethically and morally. Hope he's able to, and is able to bring America up, because America is a wonderful country.
People ask me, is Rabbanit like the Donald Trump in the yeshiva world? But they say it like as a joke, but I think there are some things that the Rabbanit said before, like to see the big picture and to say what you think and to mean it and to move forward. Like there's a greatness to that, because sometimes you get caught up in the details, and then and here, like, how many everyone said, oh, you can't vote for Trump, he's not a politician, and a lot of people said good, like he can actually get things done. So we sometimes have Rabbanit Bina comes to speak in the yeshiva sometimes. How good would it be if Rabbi took a wrong turn and the Rabbanit ended up sitting in Rabbina's office? What would she do differently?
I would say if she'd be less lazy, it'd be very good if she teach Maharal once a week.
In the yeshiva?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not learning. Now I'm learning Sfat Emet. I don't learn Maharal.
Teach Sfasemes.
I don't learn.
Bina told us years ago that...
Listen, there are some boys, without to mention to the public, as Malke saved them, we didn't succeed with them. And some of them, they're big Talmidei Chachomim, big business people. Malke used to talk to them hours. And one of them was learning with my wife. Kavua for 2 months, 3 months. She saved him. He's a very big man today.
So I've heard Rabbanit tell that, and I've also heard Rabbanit say that people talk about the Pachad Yitzchak and other things, and Rabbanit said everything's going to Sfas Emes. We have Hasidus in yeshiva. So could it be a move in the future?
She's lazy.
What?
She's lazy to teach once a week Sfas Emes.
You have plenty people in yeshiva. Baruch
Nobody in
Hashem.
yeshiva understands Sfas Emes.
You have, no, I understand you have wonderful rebellion.
We have wonderful, but you cannot. You're lazy.
I'm like, okay, great.
Well, watch this space. We might have a new member of teaching staff in Yeshiva Netziv Aryeh. Wish everyone a Purim Sameach.
Purim Sameach, and be really simcha all year round. And like I tried to talk a lot before Purim, הדור קיבלוה בימי אחשוורוש. כמו אין שבס, דף פ"ח עמוד א'. הדור קיבלוה בימי אחשוורוש.
ליהודים הייתה אורה ושמחה וששון ויקר. It's a day of happiness and enlightenment and honor, glory, and which the Chazal tell us it's Torah and it's Yom Tov and Brit Milah and Tefillin. So I think it means to give us chizuk in these mitzvot in Torah in addition, and that'll make us our happiness even greater.
And remember, the main pillar is Adur Kiblu Pshuto Kemashmoy. You have to know how to learn on page Gemara. A Jew without a page Gemara is not connected to God, is not connected to Judaism. Like the Shlo father said, right, a day without a page Gemara is a day without faith. Chag Sameach to everybody. And not to drink on Purim. And for sure the Holy Aharon.